Have you ever felt overwhelmed by emotions, anger, sadness, or anxiety, without knowing how to control them? You're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, mastering emotional intelligence is more important than ever, yet few truly understand how to apply it effectively. Stoic philosophy has taught us how to face every emotion, turning it into strength rather than a burden. In today's video, we'll explore 10 essential lessons on emotional intelligence. From understanding emotions and setting boundaries to practicing daily gratitude. Join me on this journey of self-mastery so you can live not just stronger, but also wiser. If you find this content helpful, please subscribe to the channel and like the video to motivate me to create more new videos. Don't skip to the end, because the final lesson will forever change how you perceive emotions. Emotions are an inevitable part of life. However, the challenge doesn't lie in having emotions, but in how we face and process them. Many people are overwhelmed by their feelings, not because they're weak, but because they don't truly understand them. If you want to control your emotions, the first step is to understand them. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once emphasized, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminds us that emotions aren't random or uncontrollable. They result from your thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations of events. If you don't take the time to analyze them, emotions will overpower and dictate your actions. Imagine feeling angry. Instead of reacting immediately, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is it because of an insulting remark, or because you feel disrespected? When you answer these questions, you'll realize that the anger doesn't stem from the words of others, but from how you interpret them. A practical way to understand your emotions is to keep an emotional journal. Record what you feel throughout the day: joy, sadness, worry, or excitement. Note the causes and how you reacted. Over time, you'll notice patterns in your emotional responses. This is the first step to building emotional intelligence. Remember, understanding your emotions doesn't mean eliminating them. You don't need to disconnect from your feelings to become stronger. What you need is to view them as signals, like traffic lights. When you understand the signals, you'll know how to respond without panic or being swept away. Lesson: take time to reflect on your emotions. Don't judge them. View them as companions bringing valuable messages about yourself. Only when you understand your emotions can you truly take control of your life. Emotions are not something to fight against or avoid. They are a natural and necessary part of being human. However, many people tend to view emotions, especially negative ones, like fear, anger, or sadness, as enemies that must be eliminated. This is a fundamental mistake that creates disconnection from oneself and imbalance in life. The philosopher Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." This teaching highlights that emotions don't arise from the events themselves, but from how we interpret and respond to them. Imagine a coworker criticizes your work. One person might feel angry, interpreting it as an insult. Another might see it as an opportunity for improvement. The difference doesn't lie in the criticism, but in how each person chooses to perceive and react to it. Emotions are neither good nor bad. They are signals from the brain, alerting you to what's happening inside. For example, fear often warns of potential danger, helping you prepare or avoid risks. Similarly, sadness reminds you of loss or something you need to accept, while anger signals that your values or boundaries are being challenged. Understanding these signals is key to mastering emotions rather than being controlled by them. Instead of fighting emotions, learn to dialogue with them. When a negative emotion arises, ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Take time to observe and analyze it. If you feel anxious, it might be a sign you're unprepared. If you feel angry, perhaps you need to reset boundaries. Don't reject emotions. They are valuable teachers helping you understand yourself better. Emotions are like a river. If you try to block its flow, it will overflow and cause a flood. But if you know how to direct it, the river becomes a powerful and useful resource. You can't stop emotions from arising, but you can choose how to channel them. Emotions are not your enemies. They are a part of you, and your task is not to eliminate them, but to understand, respect, and work with them. When you achieve this, you'll come closer to true emotional and intellectual freedom. Let's build a community of kindness by subscribing to Stoicism for Success right now and sharing it with those you wish to see live with kindness and strength like us. Let's spread these positive values together. Emotions may ignite the spark, but how you react is entirely within your control. This principle lies at the heart of emotional intelligence. No one is immune to feeling anger, fear, or disappointment. They are natural instincts. But the difference between someone ruled by emotions and someone who truly masters themselves lies in their reaction. The philosopher Seneca wisely said, "No one can harm you unless you allow them to." This doesn't mean you should be indifferent to everything, but that you have the power to choose how you respond to any situation. A hurtful comment can make you explode with anger, or you can calmly respond with confidence. The choice is yours. Mastering your reactions doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Suppression only pushes feelings down, allowing them to accumulate and lead to unintended consequences. Mastery means allowing yourself to feel emotions, but not letting them dictate your actions. When faced with a stressful situation, instead of reacting immediately, pause. This pause, even just a few seconds, gives you time to assess the situation and choose a wiser response. For example, if someone says something upsetting, instead of replying right away, try counting to 10 in your head. This not only helps you calm down, but also prevents negative emotions from controlling your actions. Afterward, decide if the comment is worth addressing or better left ignored. Practicing meditation is another powerful way to improve your ability to master reactions. Meditation teaches you to observe emotions objectively rather than being swept away by them. You learn to recognize emotions as they arise and choose proactive rather than reactive responses. Emotions are natural, but reactions are a choice. Mastering your reactions not only helps you stay calm in difficult situations, but also makes you stronger, more confident, and more reliable. Pause, think, and choose your actions instead of letting emotions dictate the course of your life. Your emotions are a precious asset, but without clear boundaries, they can be invaded by external influences. No one has the right to control your mind unless you allow it. Setting emotional boundaries is essential to protect yourself from the negative impacts others or circumstances might bring into your life. The philosopher Seneca once said, "Inner peace cannot be stolen unless you give it away." This means that, regardless of insults, criticism, or injustices from the outside, you have the power to decide whether or not they affect you. To achieve this, you must establish firm emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries begin with recognizing your self-worth. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me, and who or what deserves my emotional energy? Once you understand these priorities, you won't easily get swept up in other people's emotions. For example, if someone tries to hurt you with harsh words, you can choose to maintain emotional distance and not let those words shake your self-esteem. Setting emotional boundaries doesn't mean being cold or isolated. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with others in a healthier way. You can empathize with others without absorbing their emotions. For instance, when a friend is feeling sad, you can comfort them without letting their negativity take over your mind. This is the difference between empathy and emotional entanglement. Practice saying no when necessary. Don't fear disappointing others when you're protecting your emotional energy. If a conversation, situation, or relationship leaves you drained and exhausted, have the courage to set limits. This isn't selfish, it's an act of self-love. Your emotions are worth protecting. Build boundaries to ensure you're not affected by external negativity. When you take charge of your boundaries, you not only maintain inner peace, but also foster healthier and more balanced relationships. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of past hurts, it's a gift you give yourself. Many people mistakenly believe that forgiveness is for the benefit of others, or that others must deserve it. In reality, forgiveness is how you free yourself from the burden of resentment. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. The philosopher Epictetus said, "We are not disturbed by insults, but by how we hold on to them in our minds." This means that harboring hatred or anger punishes you more than it harms anyone else. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning wrongful actions. It means accepting that the past cannot be changed and choosing not to let it continue to control your emotions. Ask yourself, does this anger improve my life? The answer is almost always no. Letting go of anger allows you to focus on positive things and move forward. Equally important is learning to forgive yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. However, many people endlessly blame themselves, creating a cycle of regret and self-criticism. Instead of dwelling on errors, view them as lessons. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your mistakes are your teachers, not your enemies." To practice forgiveness, start by writing down your feelings. If someone has hurt you, write them a letter, not to send, but to release your emotions. When it comes to forgiving yourself, list the lessons you've learned from your mistakes. See them as stepping stones for growth, not burdens to carry forever. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the strength of someone who masters their emotions. By forgiving others and yourself, you grant yourself the freedom to live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Emotions, whether positive or negative, carry a tremendous amount of energy. Instead of letting negative emotions drain you, learn how to transform them into a force for change and growth. This is the art of turning obstacles into opportunities, a concept the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius described as, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think back to a time when you felt deeply disappointed. In that moment, you had two choices: sit and complain, or rise and act. Many great leaders, artists, and athletes have found inspiration in emotions that seemed negative at first. Anger can become the fire that drives you to confront injustice. Sadness can inspire creativity, leading you to write a book, compose a song, or simply find healing through meaningful actions. The first step in harnessing emotional energy is to recognize it. When you feel angry, ask yourself, how can I use this anger for something positive? For instance, instead of arguing, channel your anger into working harder and proving your worth. Similarly, when you feel anxious, let it motivate you to prepare more thoroughly, rather than allowing fear to paralyze you. A practical way to transform emotions is to act immediately. When negative emotions arise, engage in a meaningful activity. Exercise, journal, or tackle an unfinished task. Taking action not only helps dissipate negative energy, but also restores a sense of control. More importantly, don't let negative emotions linger unresolved. Energy wasted on complaining, blaming, or wallowing in pain is energy you can never get back. Instead, channel that energy into moving forward, even if the first step feels small and imperfect. Every emotion holds power. You can choose to let it destroy you or let it drive you. Remember, you can't control everything that happens, but you can always control how you use the energy of your emotions. Let's come together to support our community. If you are a kind person, please hit the like button on this video and leave some energetic comments to spread positive vibes. Together, we can make a difference. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for fostering peace and happiness. When you feel grateful, your mind has no room for envy, resentment, or dissatisfaction. Gratitude is not just saying thank you for a gift or compliment. It's a profound awareness of the good things, however small, in your everyday life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." This is a reminder that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what you already have. Start your day with gratitude. Before getting out of bed, ask yourself, what in my life today am I grateful for? It could be a good night's sleep, stable health, or the aroma of your morning coffee. These small things, when recognized, can create a sense of fulfillment. Keeping a gratitude journal is another effective practice. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for that day. They don't have to be grand. Sometimes it's the warmth of the sun, a stranger's smile, or unexpected help from a friend. Over time, this habit trains your mind to focus on positives rather than dwelling on worries. Gratitude isn't just an inward emotion. It has the power to spread outward. When you express gratitude to others, you not only brighten their day, but also deepen your relationships. A heartfelt thank you or a small act of appreciation can make a significant difference in someone else's day and in yours. Gratitude is not temporary satisfaction, but a habit that brings lasting peace. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. When you live with gratitude, you'll realize you already have more than you once thought possible. Modern life often traps us in a cycle of comparison and craving recognition. One of the most important lessons in emotional intelligence is learning to be content with yourself. Fulfillment doesn't come from having more or from others' praise. It comes from self-respect and being satisfied with who you are. Socrates once said, "He who is richest is not he who has the most, but he who needs the least." This underscores that true abundance doesn't lie in possessions or external validation, but in being comfortable with yourself. If you constantly seek recognition from others to feel worthy, you are handing them control over your life. Being content doesn't mean giving up on goals or ambition. Instead, it means your self-worth isn't tied to external factors. You can strive for more while appreciating what you already have. A content person understands that happiness isn't a destination, but a way of traveling. To practice contentment, take time to reflect on your achievements. Ask yourself, what have I done that makes me proud? Instead of focusing on what you lack, look back at how far you've come and take pride in your efforts. This helps you value yourself without needing validation from others. Additionally, reduce comparison. When you compare yourself to others, you often only see their successes while forgetting they too have their struggles. Remember, you don't need to outdo anyone except the person you were yesterday. Contentment is the foundation of inner peace and freedom. When you realize your value doesn't depend on external factors, you'll feel at ease with yourself and gain confidence in every aspect of your life. Listening is not just about receiving information. It's an essential emotional skill that helps build strong relationships and deepen understanding of others. A true listener doesn't just hear with their ears, but with their mind and heart. This is the foundation of empathy and connection, demonstrating emotional intelligence at its highest level. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, "Take time to understand before seeking to respond." This means instead of focusing on formulating a reply or rebuttal, focus on truly understanding what the other person is trying to express. Listening effectively isn't just about words. It involves paying attention to emotions, tone, and context. Start by embracing silence. Many people make the mistake of listening only to respond or share their own opinions. To listen effectively, let go of the need to control the conversation. Focus entirely on the person in front of you. Don't interrupt, judge, or try to fix their emotions or problems. Your full presence is the greatest gift you can offer them. A powerful tool for better listening is asking thoughtful questions. For example, if someone is sharing about a bad day, instead of saying, "I've been there too," try asking, "How did that make you feel?" Such questions show genuine care and help the person delve deeper into their emotions. Pay attention to body language as well. A nod, focused eye contact, or a gentle smile can create a sense of safety and encourage others to open up. Conversely, distractions, like glancing at your phone or looking around, send the message that they're not important. Practicing listening also benefits you. By listening without judgment, you not only understand others, but also learn from their perspectives. This broadens your outlook and sharpens your communication skills. Listening isn't just a communication skill. It's the highest expression of empathy. Approach conversations with curiosity and without judgment, and you'll gain trust, respect, and a deeper understanding of the world around you. Emotions are like waves on the ocean. They come and go, never staying forever. Yet, many people get stuck in negative feelings, believing they will last indefinitely. The truth is, no emotion is permanent, and accepting this gives you the strength to face difficult times with greater calm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, These things too shall pass, just as others have. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that every experience, whether good or bad, is temporary. When you feel happiness, savor it without clinging too tightly. When sadness arises, remind yourself that it will fade with time. Understanding the fleeting nature of emotions helps you avoid becoming overly attached to joy or imprisoned by sorrow. When confronted with a powerful emotion, the first step is to pause and take a deep breath. Avoid judging the emotion as good or bad. Observe it as if you were an outsider, asking yourself, where is this emotion coming from? What is it trying to tell me? Identifying and naming your feelings creates space between you and the emotion, preventing it from overwhelming you. A practical way to manage transient emotions is to practice observational meditation. In meditation, you learn to see thoughts and emotions as clouds passing in the sky. You don't need to chase or push them away, just observe and let them pass naturally. This skill not only helps you stay calmer, but also builds patience and acceptance. Additionally, remind yourself that emotions are not your identity. They are temporary states of mind, not reflections of your true worth or nature. For instance, feeling like a failure doesn't mean you are a failure. When you separate emotions from your sense of self, you can address them more rationally. Lesson: emotions come and go, like waves on the ocean. Learn to observe and accept them rather than trying to control or deny them. When you understand that all emotions are temporary, you'll live a more peaceful life, no longer defined by fleeting feelings. Emotional intelligence is not an innate gift, but a skill you can cultivate. It's the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Every emotion carries its own message, and your job isn't to ignore or fight them, but to use them as tools for self-growth. Remember, you can't control everything that happens in life, but you can always control how you respond. Peace and happiness don't come from avoiding negative emotions, but from facing and transforming them. From understanding emotions, setting boundaries, and practicing gratitude, to being content with yourself and listening actively. Each step is part of the journey toward emotional intelligence. By applying these lessons, you'll not only master your emotions, but also create a balanced, purposeful life. Start today. Recognize your emotions, accept them, and transform them into motivation. You hold the key to becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching this video. Let's support our wonderful community by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications right now. Show everyone that you're living kindly by liking the video and sharing your experiences in the comments. Take action now to spread positive energy.